Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and I'm in an airport. So if there's noise, it's because I'm in an airport. And if you can't hear me that great, it's because my voice is gone. But we're gonna do this anyway. So I wanna discuss this. I read this fantastic story today. It just tickled me ever so much because it's a great. First of all, it's a great story. I'm so excited to relay it to you. Second of all, it's an excellent discussion of what activism actually looks like, what change actually looks like, what real people doing real things actually looks like. So I referenced Brie Larson in the title. I'm going to get to her a little bit later. I don't want to start on her, but this will tie back in. So if you're curious as to why she's in the title, I promise you it's not just clickbait. We're going to get back around to it. But first, the story. This fantastic tale of a man named James Hart Stern, a black man who went to jail many years ago for mail fraud, I believe it was, something like that. And his cellmate, or someone he was in jail with, Edgar Ray Killen, was a former Grand Wizard in the Ku Klux Klan. So racist, like to use a certain racist word to refer to Mr. Stern, and yet somehow they sort of they clicked in a weird way. And I guess Mr. Stern, in all his experience as a con, got this idea, right? He got this idea, and somehow, so he was going to get out in a few years, and Killen, I guess, was not. He was in jail for murder for the Mississippi burnings, killing people and stuff, and somehow during this time, in this unlikely friendship, Mr. Stern convinced Killen to sign over his estate to him, which included control of a hate faction of. I don't know if it was related to the Ku Klux Klan, but basically he was the leader of a hate group, which Mr. Stern then dissolved. But somewhere in this process, Killen was affiliated with a man named Jeff Shope, I believe it's C-H-O-E-P. I have no idea how to pronounce it, just Shope. We'll go with that. And Shope was, until very recently, the leader of a corporation known as the National Socialist Movement. And in case you couldn't tell from the name, these guys are actually Nazis. Like, they're not, metaphorical Nazis or the way we throw around the word. They're actually Nazis. Like, they're inspired by Adolf Hitler. They're Holocaust deniers. They are American neo-Nazis. They identify as American neo-Nazis, so they're Nazis, and somehow, so I guess it was somehow through his relations with Killen's estate, he and Shope got to talking, and it was weird, they were like, Stern was like, I don't agree with you, and Shope was like, I don't agree with you, and Stern kept up this friendship. They did some like racial summit, some sort of minor racial summit, and then discussed these things, and Stern had this idea that eventually he was going to get Shope to give up these ideas somehow, and that didn't happen. But what did happen was in the process of all these things, so the National Socialist Movement was a group that was directly involved with the Charlotte Unite the Right rally, and they're actually being sued right now for inciting violence over that rally and whatnot. So Mr. Shope is kind of thinking here. He's like, this stuff's getting kind of cereal. It's a little cereal for me. And I might want to walk away. I want to leave those Cheerios in the bowl and just walk away. So he was expressing some of these concerns to Mr. Stern, who saw this opportunity and said, you know what, dude, look, I'm a black man. You're white racist. What if you want to get out? You don't want your corporation to just melt and go, and get dissolved. What if you just sign it over to me? And I could help you, help this group that you've worked so hard to lead since 1994, maintain this image of we're trying to maybe navigate these rough waters ahead so people don't have such a negative connotation of them. Jeff Shope himself looking at things being like, maybe just actively outright claiming to be a neo-Nazi is not the best life policy, so we're gonna go do something a little more subtle from here on out. So anyway, whatever crazy ass reason, this wonderful, brilliant con man, James Hart Stern, convinced the leader of the National Socialist Movement, a neo-Nazi party in the United States, to sign his corporation over to a black man. I freaking love it. You can't make this shit up. This is so... I fucking love it. So of course, Mr. Stern's first act is he did two things, right? He goes and he changes the entire website to be a website about educating people about the truth about the Holocaust. It's like, fuck Holocaust denial. This is actual Holocaust facts. And he's actually working with Jewish leaders, Jewish community leaders, to figure out how best to rebrand all of the marketing materials and social media, which he now owns, of this National Socialist Movement, to educate people about Judaism and the Holocaust, which is just, it's just freaking brilliant. And as well, in addition to all this, is he took this lawsuit. There's a lawsuit, for over, inciting violence and whatnot, and they're pleading not guilty and all this. And he's like, yeah, we plead guilty. We plead guilty. And he can do this. He's the head of the corporation, but his name is not in this lawsuit, even though Jeff Shope still is. He's like, yeah, we're guilty. Just not, fuck it, we're guilty. Yeah, sue us, whatever, go for it, amen. Bam. And that, to me, it's just... It's freaking brilliant. It's along the lines of, if you didn't see BlacKkKlansman, it's worth a watch. I'm not a big Spike Lee fan, but it's worth a watch because it's based on a true story. It really draws from a true story. It's the same kind of thing. It's the same idea of somebody, of a black man who actually decided to infiltrate a hate group, decided to get that close to it, which nobody does. Almost nobody does. It took a con man. It took a hardened-ass con man in jail to do this stuff, because no woke people are actually going to go out and do these things. They're going to make these kinds of changes, because that means getting way too close to the thing they fear the most, which is something other than them. Yeah, it's hatred, it's bigotry, it's scary, but they're not willing to go near it to dismantle it. They want to sit back. They want a comfortable distance from all of this stuff and go, you over there, change, fix yourself, and they wonder why nothing gets done. Which brings me to the point of Brie Larson. We're talking about a chick who at the age of 6 decided, I want to be an actress. Her parents were like, let's sign you up for the American Conservative Theater. And this is so hysterical. Her Wikipedia writes, at the age of 7, she suffered trauma when her parents divorced. Bitch, that's trauma half of the goddamn United States have suffered. Trauma? Your parents got divorced, so you suffered trauma? It was a confusing and difficult time for you as a 7-year-old? Meanwhile, your mom patched you up, moved you to Hollywood, and started pimping you out to the studios. So by the age of, 12, 13, she's working on a sitcom. That's your life, Brie Larson. You are out of fucking touch. You don't know what it's like to be James Harster. I don't know what it's like to be James Harster. I'm not going to claim that I do. I've never been to jail. I've never been black. I've never been a man. Whatever. But you're so far removed from that stuff, Brie Larson, that you think that having a GoFundMe to get little girls to go see your movie is activism. You think that saying, I don't care about white men's opinions is activism. That's not activism. That's bitching. That's complaining. What actual real change are you making? Because I'm sorry, paying for a movie ticket for an underprivileged kid is not activism, and it's not promoting change. It's promoting your movie. It's promoting yourself and your brand, which, let's face it, since the age of 6, that's all you've been concerned about, is you and your life and your career. Your entire family uprooted. Your sister and your mom all uprooted and moved to Burbank so that you could go be an actress. They moved to a higher priced neighborhood and struggled and suffered so that you could be a famous actress. Good for you. Hooray for you and your Academy Award. They must be so proud. Look, not knocking that. I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a dream and a goal and going out and living and doing it. Amen to you for that, and good on your parents, for mom, for wanting to help you follow that dream. But you're not woke. Or whatever the fuck you think that means. You're not aware. You are sheltered. You are privileged. You are living in a fantasy world that you've been a part of since the age of 6. How do you think you have any idea what regular people experience and go through? How do you think that you're in touch with that? How do you think you're making change? You think you're making change because your understanding of politics and social politics is Hollywood and the Hollywood narrative, which is not real. What's real is a black man in a cell with somebody from the Ku Klux Klan calling him the N-word every goddamn day, and that man sitting there and taking it because he saw an opportunity to make change. He thought, I could suffer through this. He sat down with the leader, he sat down with a Ku Klux Klan member, he sat down with the leader of a neo-Nazi movement and had talk after talk after talk, civil, conversational discussion with a man he abhorred. He went through that. He endured that. That must have been fucking difficult for this man to sit there and endure that, because he thought, here's an opportunity to make real, actionable change in the world. And as a result, he has dismantled not one, but 2 different hate factions. 2 hate factions. Completely dismantled. He owns one of them. He dissolved the other one. That's change. That's change. He's out there now in control of the media for this neo-Nazi group, spreading truth to these people, to people in general. That's change. Getting on your high horse and saying, I want more reporters of color to cover my movies, that's not fucking change. That's not progress. That's you patting yourself on the back. Good job, well done. Yay for Brie Larson, the center of attention since she was 6 fucking years old. That's what you do, Brie, all right? So can it, save it, get on the streets and understand what real change looks like. Because James Stern is a man who understands change, and he is my goddamn hero of the day. So, whatever you think of that. If you like this video, press that like button. We do those things. Yeah, cry about it in your safe space, Brie Larson. We oppress things on my channel. If you enjoyed this, let me know your thoughts. Go ahead and comment. Any interaction you have with this video helps my channel more than you know. There's another link popping up now for getting involved with me that will have all the links to my Patreon, my t-shirts, my social media, all of that kind of stuff. If you want to get involved with this channel, if you want to help it grow, any of those things, go ahead and click on that video. You'll find all those links there, my business address, my business email address, different ways to get in touch with me. And I love you all. You're all amazing. And so is James Hartstern. And we'll talk to you again very, very soon. First set.